a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
The dragon pulled itself awkwardly out of the ground, shaking clumps of mud from its body the way a dog might, splattering us from head to toe. The automaton was so awesome, none of us could speak. I mean, sure, it needed a trip through the car wash, and there were a few loose wires sticking out here and there, but the dragon's body was amazing, like a high-tech tank with legs. Its sides were plated with bronze and gold scales, encrusted with gemstones. Its legs were the size of tree trunks, and its feet had steel talons. It had no wings. Most Greek dragons don't. But its tail was at least as long as its main body, which was the size of a school bus. The neck creaked, and it popped as it turned its head to the sky and blew a column of triumphant fire.
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Raye from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Juice, also from Cabin 12.
My dear sibling has come to join us once again.
God, the chaos has already happened. I'm already, dying inside from the amount of... I don't know what's happening here.
For once, I can gang up with our guest on you, Charlie, so...
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, we're all friends here. We all love each other, but also, you're both evil, actually.
When you read Homestuck, something becomes wrong with you in the brain.
You're not wrong.
I think you were wrong before. I think that's why you read Homestuck.
Understandable.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Homestucks, they're here, they're queer, and I'm stuck between both of them.
Ooh, say more.
I'm not going into this.
Okay.
I have nothing else to say. This is a Percy Jackson podcast. We're here to talk about that instead.
Yeah, we should do that probably. That would be a good idea.
You know what's fun? We're recording things out of order.
Don't tell them that. But
it's funny.
Beloved, it's going to be a seamless experience. Don't worry about it, guys.
They won't notice. Dude, stop making faces at the camera. You're not allowed.
Okay, I will say, because we are 4 minutes in, my microphone sensitivity is insane, but I don't know how to get to oh, wait a minute, okay, never mind. I think I found the settings. No, I did not. Okay, how do I get to the part of, because I keep peaking, but I'm speaking at a pretty normal volume. I don't know how to make it not be so...
I wouldn't worry about it too much. Mine also looks like it's peaking in the thing frequently. I've never really had issues with it, though. I think you're fine.
Okay.
Yep.
Just thought I would check in.
You're good.
Also, this is a swanky new DAW we're using.
Yeah, It's free.
Yeah, that's why we use it.
It's free, and sometimes it kicks people out, and it's great. We haven't lost audio yet, so...
Yes, it saves the audio, so, we're it's probably fine.
This is great for my forgetful ass, so...
All right. What the fuck are we talking about here in this space, this wonderful space of friends? Juice, you gotta stop. You can't. This is an audio medium, and you're making faces.
It's okay.
Charlie described Juice's faces as Blair Witch Project-esque. Just so you all know what's going on in this recording.
God, I can't wait to meet Juice in person in July and then be stuck on a plane with them and be stuck in a plane next to that face.
Good.
Well, hey, that guy who has the aisle seat will also be stuck in the plane with this face, so...
This is true. But I can't escape.
You will have to just climb over him.
Yeah.
All right, so we read a short story.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
It's about a dragon. It's pretty cool.
Is that your whole statement? Is that the summary?
Yeah, that's the summary.
Wow.
Speaking of the dragon, I think it became very obvious that I have not read any of the content external to PJO. I have not read it in so long. The dragon has a name?
It does, but not in this story.
Not in this one.
Let me. I got this. I've got this, boys.
Tell me what this
we
story
read
is about.
Percy Jackson and the Bronze Dragon. It gets a whole real name because it's a short story instead of a chapter. I don't have a good alternate name. Percy sucks at romance and has no idea what the fuck is going on.
That's a bit mean, though.
He's doing his best. No, he literally just doesn't know what's happening. I feel bad for him.
He's just a little guy.
It's true. It's true. He is just a little guy. So
Oh my goodness.
Percy and Annabeth are on opposite teams for a game of capture the flag. Percy is really dumb and he doesn't understand reverse psychology at all. And he brings Beckendorf down with him. And so they go to the left because Annabeth, jokingly was like, you guys should go right, Beckendorf gets distracted by some really big ants because they have an automaton dragon head, and he immediately gets captured. Percy runs into Annabeth and Silena and is also immediately captured. They have to save Beckendorf, so they go questing for the rest of this dragon, and Annabeth somehow manages to fix an entire automaton in half an hour.
Kind of.
The dragon is
fixed loosely.
It's super effective against big ants, but also now they have a wild automaton on their hands, which historically has been very bad for Percy. But Percy still manages to distract the dragon, so Beckendorf can jump on it and shut it down. Silena and Beckendorf make a date to go see the fireworks together, and then Beckendorf and Percy get their asses handed to them and capture the flag. And that's basically how it goes.
Yay! We did it!
Yay! Woo!
This is just one game of capture the flag.
Yeah.
But, there's actually no capturing the flag in it.
It's fine.
So.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's implied.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, this sure is a short story with myth things in it. Let's get on to that. So in case you missed it, yeah. You have things to say?
I liked it a lot. I liked it so much. It was so good.
I hope those were in sync for you, Juice.
Probably not. Alrighty. Well, we have one thing that has nothing and one thing that has too many things. So this is going to be very well balanced, but actually not at all.
Hey Charlie, how do you pronounce the name of these ants? Got any guesses?
Don't fucking talk to me.
Mirmekes.
I was just gonna say mermaids, because I'm fucking American and I fuck all that shit up. So that. It's the Greek word for ants. Literally, Percy was exactly right.
Right, they're just ants.
They're ants.
They do be out here
that's
being ants.
Yeah. Okay, there's it's weird. There are different animals and tribes that are called this name. One of which is I definitely remember this one, the Myrmidons, which in fact is the tribe that Achilles leads. You know why I know this? I know it because one of the songs in the Hades soundtrack is Rage of the Myrmidons.
Myrmidon is also a class in Fire Emblem, which seems really weird to me, knowing now that they are ants that were transformed into people by Zeus.
Wasn't it? This is the other way. Wait, what? Ants transformed into people?
That's what this one sentence under the mythology section
I'm
says.
Sorry. I went to the Myrmidon page for a second, so I didn't see that. I'm like, what? So Achilles is an ant person.
Ant-Man.
Oh my
Ant-Man!
God.
Wait a second.
Ant-Man, the film,
Achilles is Ant-Man.
is the modern mythos 10-hour video essay.
It's actually like the modern tale of Achilles. Didn't you know?
Antony or whatever he called his little guy is Patroclus, I guess.
Yeah, well, he did die. Poor Antony.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't ship Scott and the Ant.
No,
Nope.
please don't.
Out of this place.
My
We're
God.
leaving.
I'm making it worse on purpose.
All right. So, other things that classify as these Myrmikis, yeah. Herodotus famously write about everything. Yes.
Yes.
No. Wrote about gold digging ants in India, smaller than dogs but larger than foxes. What the fuck?
It's really interesting to me that, like, in the art on this page, they draw them like little dogs or whatever. I guess if you couldn't get, like, a really good look at an ant, you'd just be like, that's just a little creature.
Just a little guy.
Like a little mammal, but very small.
But also, the gold digging ants is definitely what Rick is pulling from here.
Oh, big time.
Even though, aren't they bigger than that? How big did he describe them in the chapter? I've forgotten already.
I want to say...
He described them as, like, dog size.
It's entirely possible that he described them as dog size, but I definitely imagine them more in the wolfhound dog size than in the Pekingese dog size.
I thought they were bigger than people.
Yeah, I imagined maybe like 5 feet long. That's what I was imagining.
Okay.
I feel like that's just what your brain conjures when you hear the words giant ant.
You know what? That's so valid.
Yeah, and then the last thing here is again about like they're ants from India again. Race of ants again. They're small dogs. Maybe they're giant bears sized. And again, gold. They like gold and shiny things.
That is so fascinating. I wonder where that comes from, and also why India. Do they not have ants in Greece? But I don't know.
Does Greece have ants? That is the question of the week.
Oh my gosh.
The world may never know.
And of course,
I'm
the
pretty sure
depictions,
most places have ants, but
I couldn't tell you. The cultural depictions is in fact just Percy Jackson. Always good to know. Yeah, I'm just like the gold digging ants thing is just what's like. That's literally exactly what this fucking thing is. Why? Who made this up? Who decided this?
Sometimes these guys just say shit. They're just like, this would be cool and or is like my weird perception of the world. I'm gonna put it down in writing. And everybody's like, yeah, okay, that sounds legit.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough about ants to dispute it.
You know what?
New arrivals
what's the
in
biggest
India.
ants?
Maybe it's those ant people or their cousins.
I had a wonderful dad joke and Juice was singing.
Juice's singing was deeply appreciated. This should become a Bill Words podcast.
Oh my god. Okay. So the other thing is dragons, and there's way too much to talk about with dragons. I highly recommend just watching the OSP video for like a lot of detailed things about dragons.
Yeah, we don't have to get super into it. Is there a specific section on like Greek?
Let's see. Etymology. Oh look, ancient Greek is in there. It means it's serpent. It means serpent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like, so basically dragons are just like weird guys. They're just weird guys. Is there anything about them that's like the same in all these cultures? They're kind of snaky. What size they are? Do they have wings? Do they have legs? You know, it really depends. Are they associated with water or fire or lightning? It really depends.
Fire and lightning, oh my.
I mean, there is often like things about dragons and storm gods being at odds with each other. That's usually like a very common thing though. Like like think about Thor and like Jormungandr. Yeah. Stuff like that. It just like happens often. Do we have something about Greek ones though? Am I just like not seeing one, or
under European folklore? The second one is ancient Greek, but there's a lot of stuff here.
Oh, there's the European.
Oh my god, it's so long.
Fucking long boy.
So
you know what? Dragons can be long boys.
They sure can. We always talk about how like every culture has dragons and how that's like kind of weird, but mostly I think that we just put a lot of different things under the category of dragon. I think it's not that weird that lots of people are like, what if lizard, but big? Especially if you're out there like finding dinosaur bones.
May I share with you a potentially apocryphal but very fun story that I read at one point?
Please do.
Right.
About how the mythological origin of griffins being from the fact that there are these fossilized bones basically in the Sahara Desert that like animals would die standing up, and then their corpses would be desiccated by the sand like whipping around them in the wind and the sand and the heat, right? And so they would just fossilize standing up. And so like imagine seeing out in the sand like this beaked creature, and you're far away from it. You can't quite make out what's going on. Anyway, I just personally I think a lot of like quote unquote mythological creatures. Here's the thing. We know that rhinoceroses are etymologically speaking, we understand the fact that unicorns exist because rhinoceroses were recorded and then poorly translated in Europe. So it's like
that's a unicorn.
I don't know. I personally think dragons were probably like a real creature, but
the Komodo dragon is a real thing.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what? Big lizards. Big lizards
I think
existed.
if you dug up a bunch of big fucking lizard bones, you'd think, holy shit, maybe a big lizard lives here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna blame the dinosaurs on this one.
Yeah.
Very much. But also, like, I don't know, they're all very serpentine is what, like, is the thread of dragons. Like, again, we don't know if they have wings or legs or what have you, but
big snaky
always
guy.
Big snaky. Or maybe not always big, but, like, at least snaky creature. That's
menacing
weird.
snaky.
Menacing. Let's go with that. All right. There are so many fucking things here, but let's see. There's a few different like creatures and such, like the Hydra and like Typhon, that are like snaky creatures. Oh look, the Hydra. It's got like it's literally just a fucking dragon, but it's got like a bunch of heads. Typhon is like he's like a guy, but he's got like snake legs or something. He's got snakes from different parts and maybe multiple snake heads. Unclear. Also, Apollo's mortal enemy, Python. Hey, that's a snake name.
Yeah, it is.
Wonder why. Literal fucking like dragon snake thing. And like the origin of the Oracle of Delphi and all that. What else we got here? There's the dragon that guarded the Golden Fleece. There's the dragon that Cadmus killed and Ares was really mad about. Because it was Ares' favorite dragon. Why is there stuff about the New Testament in here?
I'm pretty sure it's
about
because there's dragons in Revelations, right? They talk about...
Yeah, they got dragons up in there.
Yeah. My brain is just like, this is the ancient Greek stuff. Why is this here? I guess because this is written in Greek. I don't fucking know. Yeah. Dragons all over the fucking place. Also, there is, in fact, a constellation called Draco, which is the dragon.
So in Greek mythology, a dragon's just gonna be big snaky guy, probably arms, no wings.
Yeah, not usually winged. Usually with multiple heads. Not always, but like big snaky guy. Not even legs are required.
Right. More of the classic worm shape also allowed.
Yeah. The fact that it also depends like within this one culture. I mean, granted, ancient Greece was also not like quote unquote one culture. It was
that shit was not an ethno state.
Places and all that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of dragons. Dragons are cool. Fuck yeah.
I was like obsessed with them as a child. I had a phase.
Did you have Dragonology?
I never had Dragonology, but they had it in my school, but like
Fake
it was
fan.
all like fucked up.
Fake
Like
fan.
missing all the shit, you know.
Rude. Well, let's talk about this fucking short story. I'm gonna keep saying chapter by accident, though. Just so you all know. So this dragon ruined Percy's day.
Percy, don't be so dramatic.
Okay, I've already forgotten when Battle of Labyrinth takes place. So I'm gonna have to do like some chronology here.
What has happened? When does this happen?
So presumably it's supposed to be after Battle of the Labyrinth. I'm not sure if I believe that, but also I don't remember when Battle of the Labyrinth takes place.
Yeah, the whole time I was reading it, I was like, this is really tonally dissonant from the 4th and 5th books. Like, because it was published like at the end of the book, there is that snippet of book 5 that was like a preview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so this one was published like during the hiatus, but it's also like I don't think temporally it takes place during the hiatus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Battle
School
of
us,
Labyrinth.
Charlie.
For at least first page, it's like this takes place in the beginning of June.
Okay, that's what I
So-
thought.
So theoretically, this book could take place in June. But also tonally, does this make sense with what happens at the end of the book? And you know how people are acting?
Yes, I
and
think that
such?
the answer is no, but that
Exactly.
Okay, so without getting into spoilers, is the next book beginning at the next summer? Like
Yes, it does.
Okay, it takes place next year. That's what I figured. So like technically, temporally, it's fine because this can just be something that happened at camp between these two times. But tonally, it does feel weird because it feels like everybody should be like really grim and preparatory. But honestly, you can't be like that all the time. So maybe they do just go back to regular camp activities and it's fine. I really don't know.
Okay, so what I wanted to say here is that Annabeth's behavior doesn't quite make sense with the end of Battle of the Labyrinth.
Agreed.
Because at the end of that, she is devastated about Luke
Mm-hmm.
and also jealous about the whole Rachel thing. So I'm not sure if she would be quite in this place with Percy.
Like kind of flirty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they have made a lot of relationship development throughout the course of Battle of the Labyrinth, and you really can't just be, like, emotionally upset for a whole year. I don't know.
You can't. I don't know. But it's still right after, you know? This is right after the quest. If it's, I believe this is supposed to be the same summer as Battle of the
Right,
Labyrinth.
but it could be a month or two later.
It's not a month or two later because it's July.
Oh,
Or
is it
it's
July?
End of
Okay.
June. It's end of June.
Oh, so this is
so he
right
just
the
got
fuck
back.
after it. Damn.
He'd come back from his
Huh.
most recent quest 2 weeks before. That doesn't quite make sense, but sure. Yeah. Let's say that this happens literally right after Battle of the Labyrinth. I mean, I guess Annabeth's had 2 weeks to think about it, but still, she's going through some shit.
Yeah, this does feel very weird.
Yeah, so just that's why I'm thinking about it within that context, because we're reading these things trying to be like, okay, this is where it like happens chronologically, you know? So typical summer camp stuff is happening. We're playing Capture the Flag,
No matter how weird that feels.
as always. Okay, is this every single cabin that's named? For some reason I was like, is one of them missing or something?
I felt like they only mentioned like 6.
Yeah. They definitely did.
I didn't like go
They
through
definitely did. What's the word? Shorten the list.
it.
No, there's 9 of them named.
Oh,
And some of them
And
don't
in
have
fact-
campers. I guess I
And
didn't think
3
about
of them
it.
don't have campers. That's right.
Okay.
Okay. For some reason, I was just like, that's not enough cabins. That's not right. But no. We just can't do math, actually. We're the gays who can't do math.
Truth.
Is this even, though? I feel like this is not quite an even team. Because I think Percy literally says that Annabeth's team is bigger. And yet he's got the 3 biggest cabins on one team, plus Percy. And then everyone else.
oh yeah. I was wondering about that because how does that work with kids being there like intermittently? Because it's June, right? So students would still be in classes potentially, And then
Possibly. It's like end of
Yeah.
June. So like right before 4th of July. It's like
Yeah,
they're
people
probably
should be out of
Oh,
school,
okay.
at least
By
in
now.
America.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how the Canadians do it, Juice.
we never were in school in July, but sometimes we were in like exams right up until the end of June.
Okay. I feel like that's generally pretty similar, but like...
Yeah. We were only in school late June if there were a lot of snow
same.
days and we had to make them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of situation. So Percy and Annabeth are on opposite teams. Because, yeah. We gotta have that. And Percy does not like seaweed brain. Did we know this before? I feel like he hasn't said that.
There's no way that hasn't come up. There's no way on this planet that this short story is the first time it comes up that he doesn't like that nickname.
I know he said he didn't like Thalia calling him seaweed brain.
Right, that's
Because
Annabeth's
it's Annabeth's
thing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say that he hates it for itself. He hates that he doesn't have a good comeback.
Yeah, I
Because he's
noticed that he
decided that
said
Wise Girl
that.
is lame.
It's like, well, I don't have any good insults for you, so whatever. Okay, good insult for Annabeth. Let's go. Nerd.
See, it just doesn't have the same ring as Seaweed Brain.
Fucking nerd. That's what I call people. What else? She's afraid of spiders.
Arachnophobe.
See, that's just me.
You arachnophobe.
She has a serious condition.
Yeah, my brain also can't associate. My brain can no longer associate like
Oh,
something
no.
ending in phobe with anything other than like homophobic. Oh my god, she doesn't believe in spiders having rights. Actually,
Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
all right. So
Annabeth George is an outlier
yeah.
and should not have been counted.
Yeah. So Annabeth gives Percy some advice, quote unquote. Go to the right flank. Percy's like, ha. This means she wants me to go to the left, actually. That's where the flag's gonna be. Is this like reverse psychology, actually?
No, I don't think Percy thinks about it that hard. He thinks that she wants him to go right because she mentioned it. And so he's like, aha, I've tricked her. I'll go left instead.
Yeah.
He's like, she was goading me. Because he's really not very smart.
He's
just
the
a little
littlest
Maybe I just
guy.
should have gone in the middle. He should have gone straight in the middle, and that's actually where the flag was. It wasn't either side, it was in the middle. Just saying. Okay. So Beckendorf's advice. She likes you because she wants to kill you. Yes? Is this how flag works?
Honestly, I think in these novels, especially at the time they were written, tsundere young girls were very in. And I think this is kind of one of those things that sort of does like play into the seaweed brain versus smart girl dichotomy, right? Where it's okay for her to insult him and name call him in a cute, flirty way for kids.
Right. It's because we have gender reversed the
Yes.
pigtail polling, that means that it's not like a bad gender thing to do
It's
anymore,
not
right?
sexist if the girl is doing mean things to the boy, so it's fine.
Yeah, so it's fine. Girls can act however they want, and it's not problematic.
Yes? No? I don't know. It's weird. But also, they both make fun of each other.
Oh,
They
yeah.
both try to kill each other at points. So it gets more even.
It does have it has some of those vibes of that thing that like fandoms do, where they're like, oh yeah, the girl has the one brain cell and she has to take care of all of these guys who don't know what they're doing.
Annabeth does have the brain
You know,
cell.
that like trope. Yeah, that's how it's written. So that
When
Annabeth
Annabeth
has
was
the brain
missing,
cell.
Percy had the brain cell. Not often, but sometimes. Yeah, so the whole like the date thing is the fireworks. You gotta ask her to the fireworks, you know? Come on. And Beckendorf has not asked his girl to the fireworks though. So like he can't talk. He's supposed to be
Right. That's Percy's great comeback. Thanks for the advice, dude. Glad you're so wise
he's
about
supposed
girls
to be
and
the one
all.
who's like good at this, but actually he's not. Just because he's older does not mean he's good with girls.
But he
does.
gives solid advice. You don't have to be good at something to like know what you're supposed to do. Do as I say, not as I do.
Ah, yes, a hypocrite.
I love getting some Beckendorf characterization. I love seeing that he's kind of stoic and not that great with people. He's cool.
He's
Yeah.
such a good influence on Percy.
Yeah.
Big bro energy. Beckendorf is also one of the best characters because he's the only one who was nice to Tyson when everyone was mean to Tyson,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
including Percy. So Beckendorf for the win. I've always loved him. I will never stop loving him. One of the best characters. And also I love Selena. Personally, I love Selena a lot. So
I love
she's
like
just
the
a girl.
the pink and red coordinated armor.
Listen,
I love that
have
for her.
feelings. I have feelings about the armor.
What does he say? Barbie guerrilla warfare? That fucking slaps.
This is why y'all were on for this story. Is that alone?
Because of that specifically, that's hilarious.
Listen, I have feelings about Aphrodite girls and how Rick really should have leaned into them being more like magical girls. You know? That they yeah. That they have these cute little outfits and those actually make them more powerful. They should
That could be fun.
You know what? They need to lean into them wearing fun, cute little outfits and also being super powerful and good at things. Not just oh my god, I'm gonna break a nail. I'm not gonna fight that monster.
The golden mango.
We are dealing.
No.
Did y'all
What?
did y'all read that? It's one of the interviews in the book after.
Oh yeah.
I haven't gotten into them yet. I
We're
only
gonna
read
cover
this
those
part.
soon.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Charlie, I totally agree. I think that's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah.
Instead, we have casual sexism, which,
Yeah.
even though he says Aphrodite kids and not Aphrodite girls, I'm still gonna
Mhm.
say it's sexism because
They're
it's
feminine boys.
love is feminine. Yeah,
Yeah. They're also it's the beauty and love and fashion cabin. That's what it is.
right.
It's bright pink.
Which,
They wear bright pink armor.
the implication that is often given is that they're generally useless in other situations. They're not good martially. They're not very sensible. They're always
You know what?
distracted by their love stuff.
Yeah, but also, you can fight in the name of love, the power of love, all of that shit. Listen. Love is also passion. Maybe they could be passionate in battle. You know?
Right.
You know?
Which is what we could be doing. It's just not what Rick has done so far.
Yeah. I mean, the first series, it's a lot of very basic. This is what these kids are. This is what these kids are. It'll get more complex eventually.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think it will get more complex. And then also, I think that so much of these first 5 novels are colored by Percy's perspective and by
Yes,
the
that's
subjective
true,
voice, right?
And that's
Yeah.
how we can kind of excuse the sort of changes to the world building. Is this is how Percy saw it during this first
Unreliable
foray into the
narrator.
universe.
Yeah, but that's just my hot take is that Aphrodite girls should be magical girls. And I like to imagine that Selena's wearing fashionable but sort of athletic wear. She tries I drew her recently and I was oh, she wears sneakers but the cute little high-heeled sneakers. So they're helpful but they're also fashion. Actually, they're not really helpful at all, but they're mostly fashion. You know, but anyway, I just love the pink armor. It's good, and it's why I started drawing all the characters in really cool special armor based on their godly parents.
Good. We do love that Barbie core shit.
We do. Selena is Barbie core. Alrighty, talk about the actual game and everything. Oh yeah, Selena is also the only one who calls Beckendorf by his first name, a name which we share.
I did think that was cute and serendipitous that his name is Charlie Beckendorf. I thought that was cute.
Yep.
Also, Beckendorf as a name just slaps. Love that
It
for
really
him.
does.
Yeah.
So Beckendorf has made him and Percy camo armor that fits in with its environment. That's pretty cool.
Fucking love it. Fucking love it. I wish we had more of this. I don't think this shows up ever again.
Aw.
I want to say this might be the only time we see it, but it's so cool. This is just like, yeah, just like armor that kind of blends into your surroundings. They're probably still going to see your face and all of that. So like it's helpful to a degree. But we need something like Annabeth's hat for everyone, actually.
Going back to like Aphrodite kids and ways that we can like, buff their character arcs. If this is the kind of shit that Hephaestus kids can do, and like we know that Aphrodite kids are really into accessories, then they should be like making cursed artifacts constantly.
Okay. Why is my brain is thinking in D&D terms right now, where I'm just like, what about like an Aphrodite kid who's like an artificer, but like an armorer, Like, yeah. Like fashion
armor. Yeah.
But armor.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Elle Woods during the fashion merchandising era.
Now I'm just gonna think about Elle Woods and I can't. That's a lot. Anyway. Beckendorf and Percy are going off by themselves, and they're like, Annabeth's being really sloppy. There's no one here.
Yeah,
this will be easy. They upset a dryad, and they come across an anthill. But the giant fucking ants that we hate.
Anthill. Dun dun dun.
Yeah. And what do the ants have? They have shiny head.
Okay,
shiny head.
Says here that they're the size of German shepherds, which is pretty big, but also still dog.
Okay. So imagine them the size of like the weird ant in Ant-Man that is like they have him as a pet now because he got bigger for some reason.
Oh right. Yeah, perfect.
That literally happened. Just gonna keep talking about Ant-Man now.
When else are we gonna do it?
Exactly. So they have a lot of gold in there, and I really think that should be a future quest where they just go into the caves of the ants and just like get all the treasure
Rick
out
does
of
a
there.
good job
Come
of
on.
convincing me that you do not want to mess with these fucking things, though.
Oh yeah, the acid ooze.
You know what?
The chompy mouth mandible pencil.
And there's just
pincers.
so many of them that you get fucking swarmed immediately, and you're like, well, time to die, I guess.
I don't remember if it said anything about like, do they have to like see you or like can they smell you or something? I don't know a lot about ants.
They're
but
pretty
I'm just
good at
like,
picking up on shit.
Okay. I was gonna say Annabeth's hat. Like you could just sneak in there, get a bunch of gold, run the hell out.
I think they would know.
Right? No. Okay. So what you need is Aphrodite campers. To mix up some like
that would be cool if they can make like perfumes that disguise scents and yeah.
Again, give Aphrodite kids more shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
ants
goodness.
are super about pheromones.
Like that
if
Barbie...
you could make like a thing that just made you smell like a fellow ant, they'd be like totally chill with you. We've solved it, guys.
Yeah. We're all in agreement that Barbie is an Aphrodite kid. Yes. And that she would be killing it.
Literally.
Absolutely. She's doing all of these things that I'm suggesting that Aphrodite kids could do. All of them at
I
once.
would read this fanfiction. She just starts going to camp.
You know
Barbie
what?
was a half-blood all along.
Raye, how could you do this to me? Now I need to write it down.
Hell yes! That's exactly what I wanted.
Juice, write the fan fiction, and we will share it.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right. So the dragon's head. It's it's glittery gold and bronze. Yeah. I don't remember it being gold too.
It's called the Bronze Dragon, but I guess
it's yeah. I was gonna say it's the bronze dragon. Oh look, I see Juice's face.
You're back.
Okay, so it's giant fucking head. And it's really heavy, so the ants are taking forever to try to carry it around. But Beckendorf's like, it's a sign for Hephaestus. I'm going for it.
Yeah, my man
immediately.
does not hesitate.
He's just like, this is it. No, he just works on the instinct. Immediately goes for it. Annabeth captures Percy. And then so does Silena. Girl team. I love that, like, it's these two against these two. We have to have the ships,
and
right? It's got to just be
the purpose also of this not chapter of this story is to explicitly compare these two couples and like how they are flirting and like how they're interacting.
Mhm.
We are viewing Percy and Annabeth through the lens of Selena and Beckendorf.
Yep. Yeah. And then we have Guerrilla Warfare Barbie, as we said. God, I need to draw her armor eventually. It's going to be very
the
good.
romantic tension here
hope.
is fucking palpable. Annabeth has been invisible. She's got a knife under Percy's chin. Percy is blushing because he's like, how long has she been there? Did I say anything embarrassing? What is happening right now? She is holding me.
Listen, this is a fan fiction, like, right here. Like, listen, Rick writes his own fan fiction.
Well, see, and that's part of why this feels so tonally weird. Is it really did read like fan fiction. Like, I was thinking to myself as I was going through it, I was like, this reads, it has the same texture as something I would have been pulling up on like Quotev or something back in 2012.
Amazing. Okay, the ants are attacking Beckendorf because what did he do? He went after the head, and it's not gonna work, man. His sword just like clangs off of the ant. You can't fight these guys.
Yeah, my dude got nothing.
Why did my brain immediately go to how I would attack them in Breath of the Wild?
Well, how would you?
Just like, I could beat these guys.
You've been playing Zelda, bruh.
I really have been. I mean, I'd probably like try to blow them up with arrows, like from afar, because like they immediately swarm you. So you gotta like.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You gotta be sneaky about it.
Let's get some Greek fire up in here. But no, Beckendorf rushes in and immediately gets poisoned in the leg and acided in the face, and he's just not having a good time.
Yeah, and Annabeth's like, we can't go in there because it's not gonna be helpful. We're also gonna get captured and eaten too. So Beckendorf gets captured. He's in the anthill, and Annabeth's like, aha, I have a plan. We're going to use the dragon. We're gonna awaken the beast.
Selena is really upset at Annabeth for not letting them go after Charlie. She's like, Selena was all gung-ho to like flirtily capture this guy, and then he's, about to get eaten by ants, and she is devastated. She's having a meltdown.
Well, I think there is a very real chance he'll die. Like,
yeah, for real.
So
she just really likes him, is all I'm saying.
I mean, it's one of those like, oh wow, she's like the girl who's like, oh no, but also like literally, it's someone she cares about, who's just been attacked and is gonna possibly die.
Right.
Yeah.
There is like this kind of like hysterical stereotype, but I'm like not even mad because for the rest of the chapter, Selena's like, oh, we are fucking getting this shit done. We're saving this guy.
Like I said, goddess of passion, actually. So like, so she's upset. Like, you know what? Goddess of emotions, and Annabeth's all about the logic, you know? And then we just got Percy, who's just like, I'm feeling the vibes, guys. He goes wherever the wind blows.
We're having people get along in like a girl power way.
Yeah.
Even when they're technically not supposed to get along because their parents like aren't friends or whatever.
Yeah,
they're ideologically opposed.
One time when Annabeth doesn't actually care about that, I think the fact that she befriended Percy stopped her from having those feelings about other campers.
Yeah, now she's just racist against mortals, I guess. Don't worry about it, it's fine. But no,
until
like,
she starts dating Rachel, okay? Listen.
It's fine. But she's on a team with Selena and Clarice, and they're like high-key girl powering the shit, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah, where the fuck is Clarice? Like, technically she's
guarding
on
the flag.
Or she's going to capture the other team's flag.
Yeah, she definitely is. She actually went right, and is the one leading the strike force.
Absolutely. Oh my god, that's why he couldn't go right, because like Clarice would have immediately like sucker punched him. Okay, so yeah, Annabeth's like, we have a half an hour and then he's gonna die. So right now what we need to do is use the dragon, because the entire camp couldn't save him. It would take too long, and even that amount of people would not get past these ants. We need a motherfucking dragon.
So Annabeth's plan is we have to grab this dragon head that we can barely lift. We have to drag it half a mile back to where the body is, and then we have to reattach it to the body by splicing the wires back together. And I'm like, girl, can you do that? Apparently she can.
This is Frankenstein behavior. This is the behavior of a Frankenstein.
Why do you have to relate everything back to Frankenstein, Juice?
Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong.
You're not.
Frankenstein is a child of Athena.
Yes. The not actually a doctor, Frankenstein, because he never graduated medical school.
Idiot.
Yeah, so okay, we find out the lore about the bronze dragon. This was actually, it's an automaton. It's the old guardian of the camp, presumably before like Thalia and all that shit, because it was 15 years ago when it went missing. Hey, guess who's 15 right now? Or like
The
almost
plot
15.
armor is thick on these kids.
Annabeth and Percy?
Look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Juice is nodding in agreement.
I am, there are visible question marks above my head. I really don't know what this means.
I don't know. I'm just like, I think it's interesting that like this dragon is specifically existed before these kids were born. You know? I don't know. That's just a very specific, like, oh, about 15 years ago. You could have just been like, oh yeah, like it disappeared, like, you know, it just disappeared. He put a specific time on it. That's why I'm like drawing attention to it.
To me, that was just like camp history. I'm just like, okay.
But also
gotcha.
that makes me think, what was happening in the years between Dragon and Thalia's tree? Because that's about 7 years difference, 8 years difference.
They got a new dragon, right? Like a regular one.
That didn't happen until after they got the fleas, right?
Okay, I wasn't sure if
they had to put
if he was an old guard that got like reinstated.
No, they had to put an ad. I'm remembering this in.
Okay, no, you're right.
They put an ad in whatever Olympus magazine or whatever to get a guardian for the fleece, and that's how they got Peleus. So yeah, I just want to know what was happening in those years, and maybe that's why it was so fucked when Thalia, Annabeth, and Luke got there.
Yeah, probably.
Says something about the camp. Okay, so this dragon head is also like chewed to bits. Annabeth has to try her fucking best to put this head back on and make it work. So, but they only have...
My girl is not an engineer. She's an idea girl.
They have 30 minutes to do all of this. That's what's fucking nuts. What is happening? Annabeth,
they're demigods. She's superhuman. She can do it.
Annabeth, this is the stupidest plan you've ever come up with, actually. I just don't agree with this plan.
It works.
I mean,
it works, I guess.
It does, but it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. Who's to say they were going to find it, reattach the head, and make it, like, go all within 30 minutes? You know, it's...
Juice, I think you're yawning over there, but you just looked like you were eating your microphone.
Like, seriously.
I think Rick just needed to give them a longer time frame.
Yeah, it's the time frame that's, like, killing me. But also, he's like, oh, this has to happen within a Capture the Flag game. That's why it has to be a half hour, right? That's logically, that's what I'm thinking here.
Right. The only explanation is literally superhuman abilities, which presumably they have, so I guess it's fine.
I feel as though he created rules for the game, but then, like, didn't necessarily think about scaling the rules. Does that make sense? Like, you have a bunch of super-powered teenagers. They can go for longer than half an hour. At any given sport.
Yeah, no, I would believe that Capture the Flag is like a 4-hour campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The fact that Percy's like, oh yeah, the game's over. But dude, it's been like 30 minutes. So it's actually not that long. The fact that Percy's like, oh, we search forever. I'm gonna keep going on this, like, the time frame is just, it's what's killing me.
Yeah,
That's 30 fucking minutes. So they searched probably for like 10, 15 minutes to find it, I'm gonna say. And Percy's like, forever. No, you found it, like, pretty darn quickly.
No, but when your friend is in mortal danger, any amount of time feels like forever.
Yeah.
Like, my boy is on an adrenaline high right now.
Yeah. So they think that Hephaestus made this crater to dig up the dragon. I could believe that part.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. You know what?
Yeah, the gods are doing all kinds of serendipitous shit right now.
Yeah, they're helping with the Capture the Flag game. Yeah, so the fact that Annabeth's like, I'm good with ideas, not mechanics. Bruh, we just had a whole book where Daedalus is so good with that shit. Maybe it's just not your power, but like some Athena
right,
can
no.
do it.
She's an architect. She's not a mechanic. Like, I'm down for that. Like, she has a personal skill set. But also, she's at least somewhat of a mechanic because she knows how to splice wires, so...
Yeah, I feel like we should have gotten some bullshit backstory where, like, she's like, oh, I learned, like, this stuff from my dad or something. I don't know. So, yeah, she did some magic mechanic bullshit. And, hey, look, it's alive. It's kind of nuts, but it's alive.
I just want to talk about how you have to, like, turn the ruby eyes of the dragon to wake it up. And Percy's like, if somebody twisted my eyeballs, I'd wake up.
It's beautiful.
I love him. He's just a little guy.
He is a machine that runs on quips exclusively. That is the sole fuel for his existence.
My God.
And I love him for it. That is a very Rick Riordan protagonist thing to say.
God, the amount of times that we say Percy is just a little guy, like, within the podcast is a lot, but, like, this episode, I think it's been, like, 10 times.
Well, Juice also says it, and it's not just me this time,
Yeah.
and now we're feeding off of each other.
Yeah.
And it's become a whole thing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a problem.
We're just normal men.
We're just innocent men.
All right.
He's just a little boy. He's just a little boy.
So there's a dragon.
So there's this dragon.
It needs a trip through the car wash. And it's got wires sticking out of it. It's looking pretty bad at the moment.
But it's still a big, cool dragon.
It is.
Which could be helpful.
Yeah. It's the size of a school bus. It's actually the magic school bus. I think that's the secret here. So they try to convince it, hey, help us. But when they say Hephaestus, that's what makes it go.
Selena's got this shit. She's so smart. Percy's like, I'm gonna fight this dragon with my sword, I guess. I don't know what else to do. And Selena just yells at it, like in How to Train Your Dragon. And she tells it that they've got a child of Hephaestus who's in trouble, and that and that it needs to come with them.
So we're going into the anthill. The ants are just like, what? That's a dragon.
Annabeth yells for Hephaestus as they run off, which Percy thinks is a good touch. They are.
So they sneak. This is their usual plan. So they go with. They get a distraction and then they go sneak, do the thing, and that's what they're doing. And then they find Beckendorf, and he's not there. Yay! But he looks like trash.
Yeah. It does feel
so
like
they get him the fuck out of there.
That there's so much treasure up in here. There's huge gooey sacks of ant larvae, and then there's like musical instruments and helmets and swords and jewelry. Percy's really surprised that Selena's not distracted by jewelry, which leave her alone. Her boyfriend's in trouble.
Percy, stop stereotyping her.
But also later, after her boyfriend's not in trouble, she's like, damn, that was some good jewelry though. So
Yeah, so, they really need to go back in there at some point and just, like, get a bunch of shit.
It feels like setup. There's lots of treasure.
Well, hey, we have no idea what's going to happen in that new one.
Which new one?
The one that's coming out in September.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be a camp, though.
No, I know.
It'd be
I'm
amazing
just saying,
if this was set up that, like, pays off, like, decades later.
You know what? All of these short stories are kind of set up for things that happen decades later. Let's not talk about Sword of Hades right now, but yeah. The short stories were technically meant to just like
not you bringing Cortana into this
before Last Olympian came out, but ended up being like really important in the long run because Rick was like, I wrote these. I'll use the stories in them. Fine. Wrote fan fiction. Let's write fan fiction about my fan
That's all that
fiction
writing actually is.
and call it a sequel. True. It's just writing fan fiction. Okay, so they sneak out of there, but actually, the dragon blasts a hole through it, so they can just run out, and it's fine. And what does Beckendorf do? He tells the dragon some bullshit words, and it does lightning.
It's fine. It's cute though that Beckendorf's like, we gotta let the dragon go down. It's out of control, and Selena's like, nope, Charlie, it saves you. We have to save it, and he's like, okay.
Yeah. So they get the fuck out of there. Also, we learned this fact that like after a few years, automatons go wild.
Like in Halo? Like what?
I feel like we're gonna have to think about that for every single automaton we come across now.
Yeah.
Because didn't we all already come across those like statue automatons or something? There
was the guys at the Hoover Dam.
The Hoover Dam? Yeah.
And they're just some dudes.
Fine. Who knows? They're just some dudes. How long do you think they've been there? Like, they didn't go fucking wild. I don't know. I feel like this is some weird bullshit that Beckendorf's spouting here.
Off topic, but when I went to the Hoover Dam, those guys weren't up. I was really sad. They were like put off to the side because they're renovating.
How dare they take away those special statues that saved Percy Jackson's
Chad boys
life? Specifically. Okay, so what do we do next? They're running, and there's the dragon. I've since forgotten what happens in this short story now.
They have to defeat this thing, but they can't actually fight it. It's a really big, scary dragon with electricity powers. So they have to distract it while Beckendorf goes to the top of a cliff, and they're at the bottom of a cliff.
That's right. That's when he jumps on top of it. I don't know why this part especially feels like a D&D.
It does.
Just like
you're like, okay, we're gonna use the terrain to our advantage. You guys distract it.
Just like everybody having their specific jobs and somebody jumping on top of the shit because they're chaotic. Yeah. So they have to stop it from going berserk and attacking camp and all of that. And yeah, we deactivate it for now, and we're all good. So they go back to capture the flag. Percy can't wear shoes because the acid ate his shoe, and now his foot is all red because acid. Ow. This is great. Oh yeah. Beckendorf also asked Selena out because she was like, wow, that was so brave. And he's like, you want to go to the fireworks with me? And that's it. That's the whole thing.
Well, I think the kids call that Riz.
And I mean,
don't talk to me about
the thing
this.
about Beckendorf and Silena is that they are actually like realistic, like teens who have crushes on each other. Like, they both kind of know that they have crushes on each other, and then they just have to get over that hurdle and talk about it. Like, Selena's like, I thought you'd never ask, and then they're just happy. You know? Sometimes things can just be that easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's Percy and Annabeth, where Percy's just like, I have no fucking clue what's happening. She scares me, but also she's hot. And Annabeth's just like, I like you, damn it. Why don't you know
Percy cannot examine his own feelings. His emotional intelligence
is a man.
My son, my boy, he has such a hard time.
He was raised by a woman. Why is he like this? He should be better.
I'm sorry.
You would think.
You think him being raised by his single mother who works all the time and having no masculine presence in his adult in the adult
Percy had a masculine presence who abused his ass. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, who was
my boy learned to repress at such a young age that he can't not do it.
My brain was just like, the feminine energy means that he should, be more in touch with his emotions. But yeah, you're right. The repression is strong. Okay, so Annabeth is like trying to mirror the whole thing that happened with Selena and Beckendorf. She's like, no, actually, what Beckendorf did wasn't brave. What you did was brave, Percy.
Okay, no, it's really good though, because it shows like how you view things differently depending on how you feel about people. Like, what Annabeth sees out of this situation is Percy standing up to this thing, even though he's not the one who does the quote-unquote, like, important, like, finishing move. And this whole time that they're having this conversation, because Percy's foot is injured, he's leaning on her. She's like helping him walk. It's like, oh my god.
And their faces
are
close together.
That is this
listen,
is
they
fanfiction
right
like,
there. It really is.
Not
yeah, so
I feel dumb for even saying that. It's just a romantic trope. Like
no, it's fanfiction.
There's a level of catharsis that one can experience when the two halves of their ship experience physical proximity. And this was cathartic for me.
We're doing it, man. We're making this happen.
Yeah. So Percy, again, he tries to do the thing where he's like, oh, so they're going to the fireworks. Yeah. But he's immediately
like Percy has zero introspection. He says, I guess Selena and Charlie are going to the fireworks together. And Annabeth says, I guess so. And he's like, about that. And then he says, I don't know what I would have said if I hadn't been interrupted. But, like, Percy, how can you not know? My boy has never had a thought in his brain. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has so much ADHD.
He's just ADHD impulsiveness. That's all he is. Listen, I relate so hard.
My little guy.
So yeah. So the Athena kids are like, ha, let's put them in jail because the game's still going, actually. Oh no, it's been hours and hours. No, Percy, it's been fucking 30 minutes. Of course the game is still going. It only just started. Yeah, so
I definitely did feel like it was a little
part.
unsporting of the Athena kids.
Yeah. No, it totally is. But also, there are no rules in Capture the Flag. Like,
the only rule is don't
or
kill
maiming.
anyone.
You're not supposed to maim either. This is a perfectly valid
That's
strategy.
true.
Percy's like, did you plan this? All of this? And Annabeth's like, of course not. There's no way I could have done that. And he believes her for a second. He's like, you did plan this? Like, son, no. She's messing with you.
God. Listen, that always messed with my brain. I was just like, did she plan it? What?
Part of being perceived
Listen,
as the smart kid is to pretend that you always had a plan.
I was too in the head of Percy and like just, oh my god, she definitely planned this. Absolutely.
Which is a testament to her reputation.
She probably didn't. Yeah, so the girls laugh at them and they put them in quote-unquote jail. We don't know what the fuck that looks like. I want to know, because I think that's the only other rule, is that you can't, like, tie up or gag your quote-unquote prisoners in this game. I want to know what jail looks like.
Once you're in jail, you're just like, okay, I've been jailed, and you're, like, out, maybe? I don't know. Unless you, like, I don't know, because it feels like you should be allowed to escape from jail in a war game. I don't know.
Yeah. In an actual game of Capture the Flag, I feel like you could be. Like, isn't that one of those, like, where you have to tag your teammate?
So I was
and
wondering
then
if
bring them
that was,
back or
like,
something?
the way that it works, but it feels like that shouldn't be how it works in this world specifically, but...
Maybe they can be rescued by their teammates. Right. Who knows? Yeah. But that's not happening here because they lose the game to the girls, and then Annabeth's like, see you at the fireworks. She asked him out because she's the one with the balls in this relationship. Actually.
But she's always got to be a little coy about it so that she has plausible deniability, because Annabeth also can't stand being embarrassed. And so she just says, see you at the fireworks, and Percy's like, did she ask me out? And Beckendorf's like, I have no idea, my dude.
Yeah. He's like, fucking girls, man. Give me a dragon instead. So that's Percy Jackson and the Bronze Dragon. That sure is a story.
That sure is a thing that happened.
In this book.
That sure is a thing that feels completely innocuous and like it will never come up again, even though Rick, spoilers, decides that all of these things should come up again. Except for maybe these ants. I don't know.
They do.
The level of interconnectedness that the wiki alleges occurs after this story.
What do you mean?
Here's the thing, right? When I was young, I read PJO, I read Kane Chronicles, but then I kind of fell off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't really read Magnus Chase or
you need
to. I know it's good. I'm aware.
Juice, are you gonna read them with the pod?
Maybe
read them with the pod.
I mean, that'll be years from now, so.
I will buy the books for you, force them into your hands.
I'm like should I be reading those books, or should I purposefully be avoiding them so that I can have a fresh perspective once we get to them? You know?
You could always annotate them while you read them.
That's true. I'm bad at that, though. Like, I get sucked into stuff and then I forget to take notes.
If you don't read them, that'll just force me to have to not spoil you, while I also
it's gonna
not
be,
spoil our
You're gonna be doing this
listeners.
podcast on hard mode.
This season is already enough. Just like this book series, I'm like, oh, we both know what's happening, even though you don't exactly remember all the things. But like, I can just cut out the spoiler talk. All right, so my dudes, that was the short story. Juice, where can the lovely listeners find you?
The lovely listeners can find me at Phil Sherwood VO on Twitter and at Philomena Sherwood on Podchaser.
Amazing. Wonderful.
Hey,
Beautiful.
Juice, tell me about your shows. What shows you in right now?
Please do. Please do.
Okay.
Juice is an awesome voice actor. Did you know?
Oh my. Well, so the biggie right now is Under the Electric Stars, which is a like science fiction-y sort of. It's, to me, it gives me a little bit of Firefly vibes. But yeah, it's like a speculative fiction piece about late stage capitalism, basically.
All right.
Yeah. I actually have to record lines for that show this weekend too. So
Good.
There you go. But yeah, that's
Coolio.
That's the one. That's the one these days. Anyway, what are you guys? What sort of crazy stuff are you two getting up to?
Breathing, I think. Maybe. But it's kind of hard right now because the Canadians fucked up our air.
Oh boy.
Charlie,
listen, I'm blaming
do you want to meet me in Minneapolis?
I mean, I will. That's kind of the goal. I'm gonna meet you there, and I'm gonna be stuck on a plane with
Oh my.
whoever. If we're gonna make it off that flight, though, that's the question. We're gonna have a fight on the airplane. Didn't you know?
No. We're gonna have like a full season of Yellow Jackets on that flight.
Actually, no. We should fight in the airport, and it'll be like Captain America: Civil War, where they literally fight like on the. It's not in the airport, but you know, it's like on the landing strip of the airport.
Their parking lot fight. Oh my gosh.
Meet me in the parking lot, Juice. We fucking fight.
Meanwhile, Raye and Ted are just watching their phones, being like, "What the fuck is happening? Why are they on the news?"
You guys can't do this, or else we'll be late to Barbie.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Watch out, Minneapolis. We're coming for you.
We are. Okay. Plugs are a thing. So, do we have any media recommendations, things you've been listening to, watching?
Oh, baby,
reading,
you know I do.
However you consume things. Something other than Homestuck.
I've recently been playing this visual novel game called Scarlet Hollow. It is a horror game, and it's like an episodic story, and it's very good. It's set in Appalachia, and the protagonist is the descendant of a coal baron, essentially. And so they have to like go back to the family home for a funeral, and that's sort of like the inciting incident, because like they have to sort of deal with their family's legacy, but also there's a lot of spooky things in the mines. Ooh.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
Here, I was just gonna say that I saw Spider-Verse and it was good, but everybody fucking knows that. So like,
it's so good.
I think across the Spider-Verse, like that's it. That's the plug for like the pod.
It's not even gonna be relevant by the time this comes out, but like y'all know Spider-Verse good.
Yeah, Spider-Verse good, man. The sequel as good as the original? What? No way. Sometimes it can happen.
But as good, if not better, honestly.
Listen. I have you.
So if y'all like horror in Appalachia, Old Gods of Appalachia is a podcast that exists and is pretty cool and like fucked up and evil. If you like hearing about fucked up things that happen in coal mines, my god, check it out. The narrator's really good.
Shouts out to Harlan Guthrie. Shouts out.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. My plug, well, I mentioned in the episode, why not plug it already? I've been playing it for like a few weeks now. Breath of the Wild.
Are you still playing Breath of the Wild, or have you started Tears of the Kingdom?
Listen, I only bought Breath of the Wild like right before Tears of the Kingdom came out, because everybody was like going off about this. They're like, "Oh my god, it's gonna come out! I'm so excited!" And then I was just like, "Guys, should I play Zelda? Like, everybody's so obsessed with this thing. I'm gonna go for it finally, because like everybody loves this game. Okay, I'll get it." And then I'm like, "God damn, this is consuming my life." I keep staying up till 1 a.m. Like when I have work the next day. There was a 3 a.m. on a weekend that one time. Like, bro, it's a problem. I have an addiction.
It's what that game does to you.
I have a serious problem now. I think that's also like what games in general.
Okay, well that's the ADHD.
It's yeah, I was gonna say that's the serious ADHD of it all. Like there was one week where I was just talking to my therapist. I'm like, yeah, there was nothing going on this week. I'm just playing a lot of Breath of the Wilds, and it's consuming my life, and it's a problem. How do I fix this? Yeah, no, it's just the fact that I'm like, oh no, I gotta do this thing. I gotta complete this task, and then it's like, there's a lot of tasks.
There sure are a lot of things you can be doing up in there.
There's a lot of fucking tasks. I can't complete them all and just have it be a day. It's not how it works. Anyway, Link is my wonderful, beautiful, genderless, ethereal being. Everyone is in love with him.
Yeah.
And Sidon.
Hell yeah.
Sidon has two hands. Link has two hands. Zelda has two hands. Sidon's wife has two hands.
Spoilers. Zelda? Not the Sidon has a wife?
Sorry, you had to find out this way, Charlie. I also haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, but I also happened to see that because everyone's like, how dare they?
Like a significant amount of time, I'm sorry.
How dare they? That is a gay man. That's a gay man right there. You know what? I don't know what to say.
It's fine.
Also, I was just like, wow, Link also has another girlfriend besides Zelda. And then, like, I've only played so much, but, like, the memories I've unlocked from 2 Divine Beasts, I'm just like, oh, and Zelda is also dating, that chick. Okay. Are just the champions and Zelda and Link just in a polycule? I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's the Greater Seattle polycule happening in Hyrule right now.
I think that's canon.
Have you been to Rito Village yet? Have you done Val Meadow?
I've done a little bit. I've unlocked everything on the map, so I've been everywhere at least once. But you know,
Andy ships Link and Rivali, like specifically, Birdman? And they just want content, and there's just not as much as Sidon, and they're like, they're so sad.
Listen, when I meet the Birdman, I will see if I enjoy this, and if I do, maybe I'll draw fan art.
Good.
Yeah. So that's been my entire life for a little bit. There is just Breath of the Wild.
Good, as it should be. I mean, I know that it's like destroying your livelihood and stuff, but like,
it seriously is. I haven't slept. I'm also legally obligated to make a joke about Breath of the Wild, because Battle of the Labyrinth. It's almost the same letters in the acronym.
Yeah, it really do be like that. But we're out of it now. We're escaping.
Are we?
I mean, from the audience's perspective, we're still trapped in the labyrinth forever. As in, we haven't finished the book yet, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
This is just what the labyrinth does. It displaces you temporally, physically, emotionally.
Listen, I actually really like those labyrinth results.
All right. Charlie, free us from this mortal coil.
Thank you. I was
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for you to say that, and you kept not saying it. And I'm like, I'm waiting for my segue. I can't segue. This is part of the outro now, Raye.
I'll have to
God
take
damn.
my responsibility seriously from now on.
I'm gonna need y'all to get out of my fucking cabin and go find those treasures in the anthill. Like, please. I want to know what the fuck is down there.
No, me too. Me too.
We need to get a crew on this immediately. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, listeners! Editing Charlie here with a patron shoutout. If y'all didn't know, our $10 and up patrons now get a shoutout on the pod. So now, I get to shout out our lovely God Complex level patron, Matt. Matt is so wonderful and has been a supporter since we started the OTAG Patreon. Thank you so much for all your support, bud.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Raye, at HeyHeyRaye, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne...
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just, unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
I'm so sorry. Things are happening in my house right now, and it's causing noise to happen. So we might need to mute my audio for a little while here, but
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I love
I'm
scrubbing
hearing
through and like using the the noise removal tool like over and over and over.
Okay, awesome. Swag.
That's how I edit podcasts. It'll be great.
Okay.
It's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, so wait, have you read this story before, Juice?
I'm so sorry. I think somebody's using a vacuum cleaner upstairs.
Wow. Literally? What the fuck? Excuse me, we're recording here.
Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move. 1 second.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Like
going
significant
on an
vacuum
adventure?
action is going on here.
Oh my gosh.
What is happening?
What's happening is I'm gonna lose my mind. 1 second.
Dave X Media.